ang pag-merge sang duwa ka political factions with him at the helm of this ship called Bacolod City is testament to the fact nga ang iyang gina-espouse nga change is there, no? Negating all political rivalries kag ang pag-updanay pakadto sa pag-asenso sang syudad sang Bacolod.
Stocking water is a must. Tanke is here. Locally produced. International quality. Tanke.
Dow imported. Nature's perfect lunchbox. For perfect eggs, fresh and clean, guaranteed all the time. For orders, text or call 0907-838-7958.
Councilor Victor Espino is here, and he did file his certificate of candidacy as councilor of Bacolod City on the last day of filing. So you did?
I did.
On the last day?
Actually, no. Ang natabo actually was, sang naghiwat kami sang press con, Miss Hannah was there to interview me. I have not yet filed my certificate of candidacy at the time. No? So during the lunch break, may nag-report kay Mayor Albee, siya nga, Mayor, may kulang ta isa ka COC. Kay 13 lang ang nag-file, kulang isa. So, mangkot sila kung sino. Wala na ako nagpadugay. Ako, Mayor, ako na. Wala po. I have not filed yet my certificate of candidacy. Amali natin, saan ka ma-file? Ama ko, gina-prepare ko pang COC. Amali, updan ta ka sa Comelec. Kami, gindulong ko ni Mayor Albee sa Comelec for me to file my COC on the same day, but later in the day, sa hapon na ko yan naka-file.
I remember the last time nga Ari Kadri, you said nga you were considering nga hindi ka magdalagan unless you find the motivation. What is that motivation?
That is correct. If I remember correctly, my words were exactly like, siling ko, I am contemplating of not even running in the 2022 elections, no? So, ang ako nga ginhambal, sa ako nga paglantaw in any endeavor, dapat may personal conviction ka, no? So, siling ko, pila na ko ka-term nga councilor. I have served the city for 18 years. So, siling ko, mano pa ko da. But then again, I was motivated again by Mayor Albee because not a lot of people know, no? Because wala ko gin pagwa sa una. In August of 2019, the Sangguniang Panglungsod of Bacolod passed an ordinance entitled Primary Healthcare Center Ordinance of Bacolod City. No? I was the author of that ordinance.
That was supposed to be your barangay-based hospital.
That was the concept was clustering of barangays, then butanganta sa isa ka hospital or primary healthcare center. Ang nga aging tawag primary healthcare center because at the time the administration did not want to call it a hospital. Simply because ma-conflict sa flagship project man which was passed sang wala pa ko sa council na conceptualize ang ining proyekto ang pagpatukod sang isa ka convention center, no? Diri sa Bacolod, it's an 800 million project of the city by way of a loan sa pag-insindigo from the Development Bank of the Philippines. So, after that ordinance was passed, no, by the way, because Grupo Progreso always comes up with a manifesto. And in that manifesto, primary healthcare was given top prioritization by Grupo Progreso. No, so, akon nga campaign promise, nga tutukan ang primary healthcare sang syudad, nagdihon ako sa ordinansa, creating our first hospital. The title is primary healthcare, but in effect, in form and function, hospital, 25-bed hospital. No? Ang rason sini, because there is congestion in our public healthcare system, not just in Bacolod, but in the province. No? The only public hospital that we have in Bacolod City is the Corazon Locsin Regional Memorial Hospital. It is a 400-bed hospital, but figures will show that 67% sang mga pasyente sang ining hospital are from Bacolod City. no? So nag-istorya ako sa mga doktor, sa mga administrators ng ining hospital, and looking into that problem. So ang siling nila, ang problema is congestion, no? Sa kadamuon sang pasyente nga nagakadto sa sining hospital. Anong kinahanglanon? Bacolod needs to have a hospital of its own to care for ang primary concerns ng aton nga mga pumuluyo. So, dira ako nagtutok, napasarang ining ordinansa, but it was not acted upon. So, my motivation, to answer your question, Sir Julius, in running in the 2022 elections, I asked this question to Mayor Albee, to our mayoralty candidate, Albee Benitez. Kagang sabat niya sa akon, may ara na kita sa hospital ginapaabot, paagi sa pagpanikasog, kag pangabudlay ni Congressman Greg Gasataya. And this hospital will be in fruition by, hopefully next year, masugod na construction. But then again, may ara sang lapse pa, no? Ang kinahanglan from now until the time nga matapos kag mag-function ang hospital. So interim, ang hambal ni Mayor Albee, ang solusyon niya para sini. Ang siling niya sa akon, what we do, kung mangin mapalaron kita nga magdaog sa masunod ng eleksyon, what Mayor Albee will do is come up with a proposal to the private hospitals. We have 6 private hospitals in Bacolod City. Kag ang iya nga gusto ngay moon, istoryahon ng hospitals to come up with a public ward catered for Bacolod City residents. No? Ang mabayad sini, Bacolod City, and we will issue our population, our constituency with somewhat of a no-chip card para singin himo niya sa 3rd district. Nga hindi ka na kinahanglan magpalapit sa kung sino pa, sa imong political leader, sa imong elected official, para nga mahatagan sang bulig. All you have to possess is this no-chip card, and then you will be accommodated by the private hospitals, which will be guaranteed by Bacolod City. So siling ko, amo niya ang ginalantaw kong leadership ng ginatawag. If we cannot have a solution now, we look for that solution immediately to address the concerns sang aton pumuluyo. No? So, ang akon nga ginalantaw, amo ning nagpabugtaw liwat sang akon nga motivation to run and serve again. No? Because na wala to, na simplang to ang akon nga ordinansa, nga ginpasar sang sanggunian pangnusod, wala ginatagan sang alternative sang present administration. So, ang akon nga ginalantaw, ini ang muning pagbag-o nga gusto ko nga I want to be a part of. Change for the better.
Ang hindi paghatag action or inaction over that ordinance, was this one of the substantive issues which made it easier for you to transfer to Team Asenso?
Ang pagpahalin sa ako niya was, if I quote my lawyer, Attorney Dindo Ramos, ang siling niya sa akon, wala ka man parigin pahalin. No? But ang ginobra si mo, constructive dismissal. No? So, in a constructive dismissal, ginhatagan ka sang rason, sang administrasyon, nga, what for? Di ba? Ginabalan ka, and to quote, I was categorically singled out, nga siling, kung hindi lang si Albee Benitez ang kontra ko subong, ang salig ko ara sa imo. No? So, para maano ka pa nga magtiner kada nga wala na salig sa imo ang imo nga leader. A leader which I have been with for 23 years, no? Traded over a political issue. Ang amon pag-amigway ni Mayor Albee. Amo na ang was put into question. Not my performance, not anything, except for miguway kami ni Albee Benitez. That was the basis for my termination, so to speak.
Pero you did transfer to Team Asenso. Ano ang mga rason?
One of the reasons is that, no? I can see nakitaan ko nga may konkreta nga pananawan si Mayor Albee para sa syudad sa Bacolod. Nakitaan ko nga kung hindi masarangan sang syudad, for example, like the hospital, there is a transition phase from nothing into that district or Metro Bacolod Hospital as conceptualized by Congressman Greg Gasataya. May ara sang solusyon sa interim or sa wala pa bala na ubra ang ining hospital, ano ang ubrahon sa syudad sa Bacolod? And again, no, if I may borrow the words of Albee Benitez, ang siling niya, we do not look at, amo pag isa nagpatandog sa akon, we do not look at our constituency as merely voters. We look at them as our people nga kinahanglan nga serbisyohan. No, not simply because they are voters during election time, but obligasyon naton ini sa aton pumuluyo nga maghatag sang serbisyo sa ila with elections or no elections.
Okay, ang pamangkot subong is you've been in the city council for how long?
18 years.
18 years. Isa ka sa mga
Sorry, going on 18 years kili if I win
Going
the
on
next
18.
elections.
Though
15 years na ko subo.
ikaw isa sa mga pioneer or post-EDSA nga kwan nga bag-o nga mga lideres sa syudad sa Bacolod. And after or close to 18 years, what is there left to offer?
Well, I think there is so much more sa Bacolod, no? For example, ako I always see the practical side of things, the logical side of things. Like for example, ang akon nga landmark legislations, I was the only councilor who dared to revise the revenue code, no? During my term as chairman on Committee on Ways and Means, I think 10 years ago. Now, that ordinance was never moved. Wala ginigintandog sa insin nga council simply because nahadlok sila as ang repercussion sa aton nga mga negosyante, no? But during the time when we moved for the revision of the revenue code, natabok ta ini. Without how do you call this, conflict sa aton nga mga, let me call them not constituents, but let me call them partners sa aton nga development sa syudad sa Bacolod. Because it has to seek a level wherein ang kung diin ang equitable sa aton nga mga negosyante, kag diin nga masabat man ang panginanlanon sa syudad because we are a fast-growing city. Diri kita nagkadto. We ginpangita ta kun din sila mag-level, eksplikar sa aton nga mga partners in the development of the city, and of course with government, nalambot na ina. So we raised, at that time, we raised about mga almost somewhere between 400 to 700 million pesos. Contribution sang aton sang aton sanggunian panglungsod sa pagtinad sa syudad sa Bacolod. And there was no friction. We had tirelessly spent dialogues with our businessmen, and I have a good working relationship with our businessmen here in Bacolod. And so una wala na sa may matandog. Since the inception of the local government code in 1991, natandog ko sina 19 years after wala gina sa may nagtandog. But I felt that we needed to have that adjustment to meet the growing demands. That is why Bacolod City is now only, I think, 40% dependent on the internal revenue allotment. So that is a contributing factor to where Bacolod is now.
But over the past 15 years, based on what you saw, diin halin ng Bacolod and where is it headed now?
Well, Bacolod is a very, very dynamic city, no? If you can see ang pag-updanay sang national kag local in the past 2 terms, nakita naton nga ang pagtinad sa infrastructure, government infrastructure projects, which has helped cushion the blow of the economic aspect of the pandemic, no? Nakita naton. Bacolod City has received no less than 1.2 billion pesos in national government funds for infrastructure. Nakita naton nga ang employment sang ini nga mga proyekto diri nagahalin sa Bacolod, and it has helped spur the economy. So ang akon nga paglantaw sini kung diin ang Bacolod pakadto. There is so much to offer. If I remember correctly, sang ara pa si Councilor Josel Batapa, we were partners in the ICT. And Bacolod was rated by Tholos International as a top 100 cities in the world. As a BPO destination for voice, Bacolod City was in the top 100 cities sa bilog nga kalibutan. So, positioning Bacolod City to where it needs to be, I think needs direction nga kinahanglan nga patumanon, and good leaders will give us that. And nagapati ko si Albee Benitez is a leader that can take us there.
And what should be that direction?
The direction should be progressive and forward-moving sa Subong. Local government support is a very, very important factor because local government, ang partisipasyon sa local government is giving us incentives for those new investors, giving us pagtutok sa security, pagtutok sa sanitation, pagtutok sa healthcare sa aton nga mga residente. So, local government plays a very, very important role in that. I've been with Mayor Bing for 23 years. No? And through that, no, ako, I would say that I have been a performing member of the City Council. No? Passing legislation which was not popular at its proposal, but then again, people realize nga pagkatapos na napasarang ini nga mga legislation, it benefited the majority of our people. No? Ang pagpatukod ang Bacolod City Government Center, I am proud to be a participatory member of the Sangguniang Panglungsod, a participating member of the Sangguniang Panglungsod in all aspects of that word. Ang pagpatukod sang sanitary landfill, pagpatukod sang relocation site, and of course, more important thing, pinakabag-o naton nga mga lihok sa Sangguniang Panglungsod, which is and wala ni ginhambal, no? But I need to say this now. Manila is hitting the national news. Kaya naghambal si Mayor Isko Moreno nga ang Manila may mga condonation sa ilang mga real property taxes for that. But Bacolod has done that already. Nagligad pa nga tuig, the Sangguniang Panglungsod, paagi sa ako na chairman kay Councilor Dindo Ramos and kay Councilor Alfredo Espino, we already have a condonation ordinance for delinquent real property tax payers. No? We generated about 46 million pesos of new funds in the middle of the pandemic because of that ordinance. No? Pero ginpunggan pa na nila. As a matter of fact, I have a pending ordinance, not pending ordinance, but a past ordinance nga wala man ginvito sang alkalde, wala man ginvito ni mayor. But up to this day, wala pa ni siya na has been deemed inoperable by the executive.
Well,
That's
what's
why
that ordinance?
it's condonation of real property
Okay.
taxes man sa gyapon. But ako na lang ni isa ang nag-propose ng single
Reiteration na
ordinance.
lang.
Reiteration, but ang coverage ang gin-extend.
But why so? What do you think?
I have no idea. Well, may nagsabat sila sa
Have you
ako.
talked to the mayor about this?
I talked to the secretary of the mayor at that time, si Attorney Kwansing. So, ang ilang rason nga may mga apprehension sila. So today, this session, I am filing a resolution strongly urging the City Treasurer's Office to already enforce the ordinance. I-implement ng ordinansa because wala man ginvito sang mayor. Amo ng akon, I can understand why. Last time we generated about 46 million pesos plus. I am confident that we will be generating more than that kung ma-implement ang ini nga ordinansa. Nagapati ako nga we are helping our partners, not just our partners in big business, but medium and small businesses as well. Hasta ang aton nga mga pumuluyo nga panag-iya sang ila kaugalingon nga mga real properties or mga duta sa syudad sang Bacolod nga wala sang pamaagi nga makabayad sang ila nga real property taxes aton pagid ini mabuligan. And not only that, mabuligan naton sila makabulig man sa pag-generate sang aton nga income para sa syudad sang Bacolod. So it's a two-way street, helping each other, being dynamic in the fact that we are living under very, very, how do you call this?
Difficult.
Very, very unusual times. No? Economically, and also physically, health-wise, kadamo sang challenges. And I feel that local generation of funds is a very, very tricky aspect of governance. But sa ini nga pamaagi, mabuligan tang aton nga mga partners sa pagpadako sa Bacolod and mabuligan ta man ang aton nga syudad. Asa subong wala pa na nila na ano. I know ginistorya ko ni kay sa amon mayor, sa aton nga mayor kay Mayor Albee, and that naghambal siya nga. So I hope that the treasurer, upon receipt of this resolution, I hope that the Sangguniang Panglungsod will go with me with the resolution Mabalaan ta ni karon sa hapon.
You've tasted empanaditas and buns, but have you ever tasted papas con chorizo, curried chicken, pulled pork, double cheese, and tuna basil? Only Jinkies Kitchen offers these flavors. Catch a bite now of Jinkies Kitchen empanaditas and buns at Kmart, Monsterific at Singkang and Talisay City, San Carlos, Silay City, Lopez East Center, and Lopez San Sebastian. Jinkies Kitchen empanaditas and buns, a pocket full of goodness.
There seems to be some grumblings within the group of Team Asenso, even from supporters of Mayor Albee, over the fact na may ara sang candidates who are from Grupo Progreso. And some are saying that it negates the concept of change that Mayor Albee is carrying. What do you think of this?
Well, ang ako as Mayor Albee has so eloquently put it, ang siling niya, ang pag-merge sang duwa ka political factions with him at the helm of this ship called Bacolod City is testament to the fact nga ang iyang gina-espouse nga change is there, no? Negating all political rivalries kag ang pag-updanay pakadto sa pag-asenso sang syudad sang Bacolod. I think that is amo na ang sabat nga akon nga mahambal parte sa sina nga pamangkon, because ang siling niya, ang problema ni kung ang kapitan mo hindi kabalo kung din kamo pakadto, di ba? Because you will be influenced by the trivial things that politics puts on the table. So sa subong niya, because siya ang kapitan, tanan kami maugyon sa iyang nga ginalantaw nga vision. That is why I am here. Nakita kong vision ni Albee Benitez para sa syudad sa Bacolod, kag nakita ko for myself nga ang ining mga visions kag ining mga programa para sa kayuhan sang kadam-an sa aton pumuluyo sa syudad.
In a way, that is also the analogy of Councilor R.J. Baribar. Siling niya, we are in the midst of turbulent seas. And siling niya, kung mag-ilis kapitan ang barko, sa sining nga higayon, medyo problema kita.
I can refer to that quote, no? Do not change horses in midstream. No? That is the exact words I would, if I recall correctly, kung insakto na siya. That reference was made to Abraham Lincoln during the the presidential convention during his time. So that is true. You do not change horses midstream because mapiligro ka. It's either you perish or maperish ka or matalang-talang kay advantage. But then again, in business and in economics, there is also a terminology called cutting your losses. Kung ginalantaw mo, for example, laying out those, may ara legislation ang sanggunian panglungsod, may ara ka direction nga ginalantaw, wala gina-implementar. Para sa akon, that is bad. No? I can give you numbers on the need nga kinahanglan kita sa hospital sa Bacolod City. And Bacolod City can afford it. Bacolod City has the capability to have these projects concreted. But I will use the phrase also, cut your losses. Kung laway ang pagpadalagan sa isa ka negosyo, in this case, kung laway ang pagpadalagan sa isa ka panghimanwa diri sa syudad sa Bacolod, nga atulirahon mo pa. Why tolerate it? If there is a better alternative in the man, Albee Benitez, who has a clearer direction for the city of Bacolod, nagapati ko nga diri ko maupod sa iya. Kaya nakita ko ang direksyon nga gusto niya nga kundiin mapakadto ang syudad sang Bacolod. And Albee Benitez is not just your typical person. He is a visionary. He is an accomplished businessman. Kaganamo na ni siya na obra on his personal capacity to prove that he can do it, not for himself but for Bacolod City.
What should we look forward to? Ka-desperate sang panahon sa bungi.
I think sa ako niya the creation of opportunities ang dapat na obrahon. And nakakita ko, Albee Benitez can give us a creation of opportunities. He has done that in the 3rd District. He has done that in his personal capacity. And nakita ko man nga masarangan niya para sa syudad sa Bacolod. I have been seen referencing him to, how do you call this, his main line of business, which is legal gambling. No? Ang gambling balang issue sa kay Mayor Albee. But then again, lantawa bala, sa tanan-tanan nga issue nga ihaboy mo sa nadira. Sang una, ever since, sang anak ko sa council, may 15 years as councilor of the city of Bacolod, there's such a thing called the PAGCOR Fund.
Kada tuig, gabaton ka muna ng mga konsehal.
Every month.
And how much is it?
Ang city councilors get an allocation of 20,000 pesos for our social projects. Hindi na alin.
Legal gambling.
PAGCOR, the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation. Sino nga konsehal da ang wala nagabaton sina? I have only known of one councilor, and that is Councilor Lyndon kanya. Nga wala gina siya nagtandog. But tanan-tanan kami dira, alin sa mayor, sa vice mayor, sa councilors, tanan-tanan nagausar sang PAGCOR. Are we saying nga tungod nga kung wala ang PAGCOR kag wala, damo kami nabuligan, bahin sina. Damo kita sang proyekto, bahin sina. Damo kita mga kabuhi nga natandog sina. But it was derived from gambling. Di ba? So, sino ka nga maghambal nga nagbenepisyo ka man? Di ba?
Yes.
So, that is my point. And most, or if not all of the social projects of the national government, even the local governments, are derived from proceeds coming from PAGCOR and PAGCOR and PCSO, or the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office. No? Gambling. So, ang importante nga sa ako niyang paglantaw that we are putting back where the money should be put back. And let us not be hypocritical in our sentiments nga gambal ka lang amuna, but ang nabinipisyuhan paagi man sa amon, paagi sa pag-nasignate sa mga recipients ang amon nga PAGCOR sa social funds namon, nakabinipisyo man ang tanan. So, amon ang akon nga ginalantaw da. I think the responsibility, if you look at the negative side of it, we are in a democracy. Kung ara ka sa isa ka demokrasya, it is your choice, no? That our independent individual choice to gamble or not. So, kung hindi kayo magsugal, ako, I don't gamble. So, wala man, di ba? Hindi mo na ipagtudlo yung gambling as, ang itudlo mo na iya ang sentimento ng tao mismo.
On that note, Councilor Victor Espino, sir, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.